Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about the comments that you get when you post a for sale ad on Facebook. Number one, the guy who wants a whole bunch more pictures, maybe a video, wants a list of all the extra parts, wants a copy of the VIN, all this other stuff. You know, and you put in a lot of effort giving this, sometimes you put in a lot of effort giving this information to people and they ghost you, or they don't want the car, or they weren't that serious anyway, and you know, you see them asking the same questions on multiple for sale posts. And it's kind of, they're probably not searching for a car. They're just not. They want a lot of information. They like asking about it, seeing what all you've got, but they're not interested in buying the car. They've wasted your time. Number two, can I come look at it? They want to bug you about coming to look at it. I want to come look at it. I'm going to bring a trailer. I'm going to bring cash. You know, can I come look at it, please? I'm not that far from you or whatever, and then they don't. They ghost you, or they tell you exactly what time they're going to be there. They might even text you or message you and tell you you're on the way, and then nothing. I've had that happen a few times to me on parts. People tell me, hey, I'm on the way. I'll be there at 2 o'clock. Well, you know, at 1:30, hey, I'm about a half hour out. And then at 2 o'clock, nothing. They ghost you, they block you, whatever. It really sucks when that happens, but a ton of people out there like that. You're just going to have to deal with it. Number three, the people who insist on trading you junk for your nice stuff. Now, some people put no trades on there. They still get trade offers. Other people put, hey, I'll trade you for a nice boat or a nice four-wheel drive, and then people offer them like a 93 Dodge minivan, or you know, a collection of broken lawnmowers, all kinds of weird stuff. You know, I've got 14 head of cattle. You know, come get them and you know, bring your truck. You know, weird. But most of the time, just if you're offering trades, a lot of people I've seen offer trades are just nowhere near as valuable, not even close as valuable as the thing that they're wanting to trade for. Number four, they offer you a ridiculous amount. Like, okay, fine, best offer. You say I'll give you $5,000, and you're asking $15,000, and you know I'll come look at it for $5,000. I'm in at 6,500. You know, a lot of times people post stuff knowing that they're going to come down a little bit, so they post a little bit high. Sometimes a lot high, but offering 30% of what they have it listed for, probably not going to happen. I mean, you know, maybe every once in a while some idiot just takes it, but most of the time that's just real offensive, and you know, you're being a jerk. So, you know, if you're going to make an offer, at least make something reasonable, like half. Start at half, something like that. I mean, if they won't give you a price to start with, sure, you know, make a crazy offer. But if they're giving you a starting point, half is even pretty insulting. So, you know, there's always going to be that one guy when you're asking $20,000 for you. I'd be more like 6,000. I got 6,000 cash. I'll come get it right now. I bet you would. Number five, the guys that cry about titles. Okay, look, I know some states require titles on old cars. Some states require titles on anything that's old, no matter how old it is. Well, a lot of states don't. In Georgia, we require a bill of sale. We can sell anything with just a bill of sale receipt. And then you have to verify the VIN if it hasn't been tagged or titled in a long time, or titled, but you know, registered. So just because your state requires a title on it doesn't mean the car is worthless to you either. It just means you got to go through another step or two to get a title for it. Now, I know some states are way more pain in the butt to get titles for than others are, even if they require titles on old cars, but it's not the end of the world, and it doesn't make the car worthless. You might not like it. It might be a pain in your state, but to a bunch of the people looking at the ad, no title is no big deal. Number six, the guys that want to comment on there, hey, I remember when these cars were $1,200. I remember when I bought one of these in 1978 for $300. I remember selling one of these for $200. I remember buying one of these and just taking the wheels off of it and scrapping the rest of it. Who cares? Nobody cares. Stop saying that. We don't care. It's not 1978 anymore. You know, you can't buy a complete running 40,000 mile Nova for $800 anymore. It's not going to happen. And look, it's nice to reminisce, but the guy's trying to sell a car and you're polluting the comments. Don't do that. Okay, number seven. This is one that's really sets me off. Now, you'll have someone post a car for sale and maybe the price is a little high, but then someone complains on there, hey, look, that car needs at least, you know, $25,000 worth of work, and then it's only going to be worth $30,000, and you're asking $10,000 for it. You know, who wants to lose $5,000 after all that work? Well, you know what? A lot of us aren't building these cars to sell. We're not trying to turn a profit. We don't care what we got sunk into it. It's the car we want. It's the car we want to build. And also, not everybody wants to put $30,000 into a car. Some people will buy a $10,000 car and spend just enough on it to get it running and driving and enjoy it the way it is. We don't all want show cars. We do not all want a perfect body and a perfect show car. And a lot of us can do the work ourselves, like me. I'm happy with whatever results I get from my work. It might not be as good as a professional shop's going to get, but it's going to be good enough for me. And I'm not going to have $30,000 in a restoration unless that's how much I want to spend on it. So for the people that comment, hey, yeah, buy it for 20, put 50 in it, and have a $35,000 car. Shut up. Just shut up. Okay, number 8. I saved this one for last because this one gets under my skin the most. When someone posts a car for sale, and let's say it's in the $8,000 and $9,000 range, and then someone comments on there, you added too many zeros. Oh, that gets my blood boiling. You know what? Shut up. You're stupid. Don't be that guy, because most cars, even if you cut them in half at $8,000, you can justify that. But to take a zero off of it, and I mean, I know you're being a little bit facetious when you say that kind of stuff, but to tell someone, there was a lady that posted in one of the Facebook groups the other day, posted a 4-door Nova for sale, and she had like $8,000 price tag on it, and someone commented, one too many zeros. It's an $800 car. And you know what? It was a running and driving 5 out of 10 paint job, but it was all one color, I think. It was a running and driving car, had a V8 and automatic in it, had disc brakes on it, good wheels and tires. It was, in parts alone, was $3,000 or $4,000. And this guy's going to insist, because it was a 4-door and not a 68 to 72, because I think it was a 74, that it was only worth $700 or $800 and in scrap. And they've scrapped worse cars than that, or better cars than that. And the whole thing of just insulting people who are trying to sell something. Now look, and I know that there are a lot of people out there that want a ridiculous amount of money for a pile of parts and rusty metal they're not going to sell it for that. They're just not. They're hoping someone comes along that's silly enough to buy it for that. Or they're claiming it's a rare car when it's not. Or it is a rare car and they're claiming that it's going to be worth a ton if you fix it up. And and maybe it will. If you want to really just got to have one of those cars, you're going to pay that price. And in some of the cars, they are worth that money. It's a ridiculous price for a ridiculously rare car that when you're finished is going to sell for a ridiculous price above what you spent on it. And I get it. Not everybody has the means to buy that. Not everybody wants the car. Not everyone understands it. But the whole cutting the thing down to, it's a $500 car. It's not worth fixing. It's scrap. It's a parts car. Well, you know what? One of the reasons that these cars are costing so much money now is because everybody thinks everything's a damn parts car. You know what? If you start fixing some of these cars, all right, then the prices will come down, because everybody wants just a nice car. You take a $500 Nova like I've got over here that I started with on this budget build, and you say, well, it's not even worth a parts car. Cut, get the good parts off of it, the trim off of it, and scrap the rest of it. That's why the cars are so dang expensive now. Nobody can find a car that's just a project anymore. They're all half done where somebody's got $10,000 or $15,000 in work into it. They're not going to take a big hit on it, so they're asking $10,000 or $15,000 for it. All the $500 or $600 cars have been cut up or parted out because everybody's too lazy or too broke to spend the money on them to get them fixed. Or they think they got to have a show car and they don't have the money for a show car. So if they can't buy one that's rust free and then they can put a $3,000 paint job on, which is a ridiculously low price for a paint job, then they don't want the car. It's parts car. It's junk. It's not worth fixing. It's not 1992 anymore. You can't go buy 4 or 5 Novas in a week for $500. It ain't going to happen. Shut up talking about it. These things are expensive to build now. They're expensive to have. They're expensive to buy. And people are just going to have to deal with that. Now, I'm not happy about it. I'd love to be able to buy them real cheap. But it's just not there. We can fix a lot of these cars now with roof skins, quarter panels, taillight panels, full floors. I mean, Midwest Nova Kings is taking stuff they're just using the A-pillars of cars and fixing everything else. The hinge pillar and the A-pillar and the inner bracing and everything else on them is getting replaced. And it's expensive, sure. Is the car worth it when you're done? Maybe not, but it might be to the guy who spent the money on it. He just wants a nice Nova. But if you start with something like this, $500 or $600 car, or now a $2,000 car, in the scheme of things, starting with a $2,500 rust bucket and then spending $25,000 on it is not that different than starting with a $500 car. I mean, it's $2,000 difference in the total price of a car. So you're going to have to replace everything on a, $5,000 car. Just about needs everything anyway. Now, sure, if you can find a rust-free body that's a one-owner car, more power to you. But they're going to be $15,000 to $20,000 minimum. I mean, it's going to be hard to find those cars. They're just not out there anymore. And by the time you see it for sale on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or eBay or somewhere like that, somebody that's already got the car that's in the know, there's no good deal left. All the good deals are going to be found, by someone who happens upon a car that's not for sale and offers money for it and gets a good deal on it. That's where the good deals are. So, all this bitching and moaning about the prices of these cars, it's going to continue. This video is not going to stop that. But just understand that all these people that get mad about using all these Taiwanese or Chinese parts, and they'd rather cut up a decent car that can be fixed so that they have all American sheet metal in their car. It's a nice thought, but you're causing part of the problem. You're part of the problem. And, going in and I get so upset when I see these guys talking about, just scrap it, part it out. Look, this four-door, it's borderline parts car. And as much as I like saving these cars, this thing's bad. Number one, it's a four-door. Number two, it's got rust in places. I mean, it's got rust up on the top of the roof up here. And, it's not worth saving, and I don't even like it that much. I mean, four-doors are kind of cool, but this thing's in a world of hurt. It needs a ton of work. I might do something cool with it and save it, but not because it's worth it or it's going to look good or that it's not a parts car, because it kind of is a parts car. It's got a lot of good parts on there, and it's worth way more as a parts car than a finished car it will ever be. So I get the whole thing about parts cars and parting some of them out, but some of these cars are decent cars. People are afraid of rust or afraid of work or afraid because they have to pay someone else to do it because they don't have the talent or they don't have the money. And that's the real case. A lot of these people that complain on these things about the cost of these rusty cars, they have no money, no intention of buying it. They just wanted people to hear them bitch and moan. See you guys in the next video.